again here, that could be the difference maker, just as it was on Vertigo. So you need not Vertigo, on Overpass. So you need Movistar to hopefully kick things off here with the pistol and ensure that they don't fall to a force buy, as we've seen on that previous one. Most of the focus
charging
on
up the ramp. Always the way to do it on Vertigo. Straight up, straight out, and see if you can take some contact. But Movi have slowed it down off the back of that.
Ooh, look at Nickel back.
It's a nice flank, but the timing's going to be rough for him here because he's got Mopos still over towards the B site. So he can't really afford to push quite as far through as he perhaps would like. There is Mopos, and there's the freebie, but he pushes again just a little too far and gives up his life to Alex. It will mean the Molotov is lost to the gods, but the smoke will be recovered, and that's just about enough to get yourselves an execute up onto that A site. The recovered USP as well could be dangerous. The peaks start to come in, and it's an isolated Elian out of ammo, out in the lurch. Nothing he can do. Surely he manages to find a second, and that is more than you could have reasonably asked, as Mir and Forrester somehow find themselves with even odds. The smoke to allow that bomb to transfer has gone a little deep, and Alex now knows that he's got to hold off that lane presence. There's a gap for Forrester to abuse as well as the tap comes in. They want to bait this fight, and Forrester charging in, spots they're both retreating, but through the smoke gets his head caved in, and Mir is left alone. He's peaked by two simultaneously. It's an ugly old fight, and it's Movistar Riders who find themselves the pistol.
Yeah, just sticking around a little bit too much in some of those situations with the advantages. Nickelback very easily could have fell back off up onto mid at that point. Would have had the info that there was at least some more presence around the ramp, of course, because you've seen them moving in that direction, and having just the 5-on-4 to sit with would have been very, very useful. Unfortunately, it is not going to happen. Instead, Movistar get what I said they needed to, which is that opening pistol. They go heavy on rifles as well to hopefully ensure that they don't lose anyone. Did he actually see Ellie in there?
No, I'm going to go with
spam the angle, hope for the best, and in this case the best was a headshot. Not bad.
And they got one in the pistol as well, so just continuing on their successes. Again, opening man advantages there. The chip damage isn't half bad. Alex, Mopos, maybe even some Pius within tagging distance of that scout. Problem is, there's a wall of smokes between him and the opposition, and for now, peering over the top of them, he's not spotting much of anything. He will find the one. Mopos to go down. Forrester's flank with a CT smoke keeps them pinned as well, and you can see the CT side are aware now that they got them somewhat stacked in towards this A ramp. 3 players will remain on that A site. Forrester makes the rotation to ensure there's no kind of a flank through mid. He knows B is clear. And this starts to turn into a little bit of a nasty stack, you know. Movistar just starting to realise that, are going to look for the retreat, but it's right as the aggression is coming back from Entropiq. Mir and Krad taking a ton of damage apiece, but they do get away with their lives. They get away with a kill as well. And with 35 seconds left on the clock, where do Movistar look to take this one now? They're backing out of the A ramp. They want to have a think about the B site. And for now, it's wide open for the taking. Or do they? They're back up the ramp. I was selling the storyline. I felt that B was their best chance at this one. Instead, they're going to walk right back into that stack anew, and it's MP9's up close and personal. Mir finds another. Deaths will trade, but immediately Krad is there with the response. With 8 seconds left, there's nothing more Deaths can do. 29 HP, no time to plant that bomb. A 1v3, and it will be Krad chipping away on the rifle stolen from Elian's corpse to get Entropiq their response.
Yeah, with not a ton of time there, I guess Movistar's hope was that by slowing it down and going back a little bit, they'd make Entropiq think, okay, yeah, they're probably going to be, and at the very least split up the defense, but it worked very well. They ended up just still walking into that stack and getting obliterated. What a round from Entropiq with the health that they had on some of the players as well. It really was one that could have flipped either way still. Instead, now Movistar are left with just pistols, and this is looking eerily reminiscent to how things were going on Vertigo, on Overpass as well. I keep saying Vertigo for some reason.
It's been a long week, Dean. We're all a little frazzled in the brain, but it's the thought that counts.
Every week's a bit long. Maybe like 5 days too long. We could just keep the Saturdays and the Sundays. Deal?
Says the man whose only job is to sit in front of a computer and talk about Counter-Strike.
I'm trying to help you here.
He is trying to help me, and it's appreciated. Movistar could do with a helping hand as well, to be fair to them. The force spy coming into this one. 3 Deegs, 2 techs, a little bit of utility, a handful of smokes, single pot flash to get them into an angle. I mean, it's bare bones at best, and You can see the result of that almost immediately. Just having to sit back on their angles, wait for contact, hope for over-aggression.
That's all it is, yeah. They need the advantage early on before they can get into position to use these nades. That's the intention, at least. They've got all their smokes. They're hoping that an execute will give them something to work with, but a man advantage before putting themselves in that position would be ideal. Maybe steal a weapon or two away as well. Deep on ramp for now, though, with the smoke. It looks like it's going to be late around here that they do want to try and move towards, but see how effective it's going to be against these rifles, against the CTs who are playing pretty aggressive as well. That smoke, the follow-up wasn't quite as deep though, so it might give a small bit of freedom for them to start getting these pistols a bit closer.
That molly behind it is just as well timed as your response. Keeps them pinned in for an extra 10 seconds, and that buys the time they need for that flank to start becoming really dangerous now. Forrester on the backstab will open things up, and from here, it should be a field day. Pius able to at least put a thorn in the foot as he finds one onto Crad. That is a recoverable rifle, and David G just driving by with the 4A1S. We'll find a second. All of a sudden, this starts to look ugly. Emir trying to stabilize the ship. We'll find a big kill, and he spots out Pius, but goes down again as these low HP bars are starting to be punished. It's the backstab from Forrester. He spots the last man, but Elian on that scout is in trouble until the deagle comes out. The force spike from Movistar, very similar to Overpass, gets a hell of a lot done. But again, very similar to Overpass, just not quite able to get it over the line.
Yeah, obviously they did eventually crack through at 6-2 it was already that they were down on Overpass before they got things going, so they definitely don't want to get towards that scoreline here. But as you said, the positive is they're keeping the pressure on. Economy is not building up too much. They're doing sustained damage, so if they can do that again here, then they will have the chance going into that first gun round to break them potentially. The problem is they've only a single P250 upgraded for now, so I don't really love their chances of being able to come away with more than maybe 1 or 2 kills here. Even the 2 kills I think would be a bit generous. A little bit of a burn there. Gives the info that they are still close on mid. Mir's going to take the headshot angle, take a couple of kills from it, and the assistance of Forrester and Crad. It looks easy, like they didn't struggle at all right there. Not a single sweat broken. Forrester ends it, and there it is, 3-1. The economy of Entropiq off the back of that is going to stabilize a small bit. They've already got pretty good weapons. I mean, there's a scout and an MP9 mixed in there, sure, but they can hang on to those weaker weapons here as a bit of a bonus round, and you can see even then a Galil is forced into the hands of Movistar so that they can get all of their nades, so things aren't perfect on the other side either.
It's not a great buy for either side. As you said, the little bit of a bonus round plays into the hands of Entropiq, however. They're not the ones investing the kitchen sink. Aggression down the B stairwell has been called. Forrester, that smoke is hoping to bait the idea. He isn't there, but it's a rough old spray and it's punished. Good damage onto both players though, and that deep nade chips them even lower, but still unable to find the kill that Mir is so desperately after. He continues to aggress. He's out of ammo. He thought he had extra bullets there. He switches to the USP and still finds the conversion. Somehow manages to wrestle back control of that situation, and with the damage now done, this one looks to favour Entropiq. Pius is watching for exactly this play, however, as the continued aggression comes in. This was again characteristic of map 1, and it sold Nickel back out inside of the smoke. Nothing he can do. That's another rifle gone from the equation as well. Feels very premature, the aggression. And Mir, well, more aggression to follow, and if Alex continues to hold this line, well, that will be the last rifle gone. Just an MP9 and a scout remain. The damage becomes all but irrelevant at this point, and the bomb, well, it has free reign of the map.
It's just relentless aggression that in this case has backfired big time on Entropiq, unfortunately. It was risks that I understand, and I think in the early stages of the round at least they needed to be willing to make because of the 2 weaker weapons in play. But the weird thing was, it was only the M4s that really went aggressive. If you had Crad maybe backed up by one of the M4s going aggressive in the early stages, maybe the MP9 goes down and the rifle trades and things come out a little bit better. Instead, it was the weaker weapons that were left to try and hold on to the bomb sites themselves after the aggression, of course, wasn't too successful. Should at least be an AK being saved over by Crad here. Never mind, there was actually a player back in spawn. I didn't quite realise. I'd avoided the first angle there by not going through the door frame, but they had him locked in pretty much. 3-2. What a turnaround from Movistar as well, considering that it wasn't too bad in the early stages, but this aggression, of course, that continued down ramp more so into the smoke by Nickelback, if I recall. I'm presuming his suppressor gave him away. because, yeah, it was a little bit awkward. Maybe a second earlier, if he steps back, he catches the player who would just walk past him, maybe even gets a little bit more out of it, but at the very least, he would have kept the numbers equal. Likely distracted for that follow-up flank.
I can't understand it. Maybe the MP9, sure, but the rifle just feels like a little bit of fidgetiness from Entropiq, a little bit of concern that even with that 4-on-4, they need a little more. Of course, that was the bonus round, so you can forgive them for now. This is where they really have to start answering those questions, though. AWP in the hands of Ellie and rifles for everyone. What little utility they could scramble behind it. And Movi happy to sit back off this opening control, happy to bleed those CT nades dry before they plan into what looks to be an A-ramp execute.
A little bit of a slower one, though. Waiting it out, letting whatever little utility had been used burn out already. Speaking of burning, Crad steps into the flame slightly, and there's only flashes for Entropiq to actually slow this push once it starts to come in, so I don't think this is exactly what they'd be hoping for. Instead, they have to just straight up take fights. You've got Crad up close on the construction crane, and Elian did have a very aggressive angle, backs off just in time, I think, to avoid almost certain death on a trade. Good dink by Crad, good kill by Nickelback. They're actually putting in a decent defense here in the early stages, but it's a very staggered push by Movistar Riders. Not initially maximizing their chances, but when Sun Pius pops off and Deaths finds Nickelback, suddenly the round is just flipped on its head. It's all on Mir. He's been fantastic so far, but this 1-on-3 I think is a bit too much to ask of him, and he's realized that before he even goes towards the bomb site. Deciding this rifle is going to be worth a lot more to him and his team, and maybe wondering if there's an upgrade anywhere. Might be an AK, perhaps he can take 1 or 2 more players to the grave.
Another one of those rounds, though, where it feels like Entropiq were just a bit keen to get into the brawl. As you said, they had solid positions, they found several kills, and then a couple of wayward peaks. Things start to fall apart at the seams. A very fortunate drive-by shot, I will say, for Deaths. And we're level at 3 apiece with CT economy broken. I mean, it's the ideal circumstance for the Movistar Riders. You were talking about how Entropiq got that early spree, that early momentum. Movi fought back. It's a very different picture here. Everything level. Movi really asserting themselves on the T side of Vertigo, and Entropiq just looking a little nervous for my money.
Apologies, we're just quickly getting our caster command updated. Always forget to do that in the beginning. Here with the only rifle, though, of course. I do like the boost coming in for a bit of a swap up. Might be enough to catch Mopos, maybe. They're actually just waiting for someone to come all the way around, I think, or else over towards the ramp itself. The problem is they've already lost 2 players. And while he comes away with the 1 now, but the position of all 3 of these final CTs is known, of course. They know Mir has someone boosting them up. They took out Forrester on his aggression, and while his dink did, of course, help out for that second kill for Mir, B is going to be taken in the meantime, and that should pretty much confirm the round win here. Some damage at least being done, but I think at this point you've got to just try and confirm the save of the 2 weapons, and considering they came in with just 1 M4, I'd say it's worthwhile. It'll boost up their buy in this next round. It's only going to be 3-4, so it's still early days, and they have a chance to try and turn this around. But importantly, to do so, they need a strong economy, and they need round wins that are confident as well. They need to be surviving in them. So 2 AKs is going to give them a good chance to do that.
It's not a bad end result for Entropiq, but again, we'll have been wondering what might have been. Mir, as you said, having an absolute pop-off start to this series, continuing to find damage in this one. But it will be the Movistar Riders who take themselves the lead. 4-3, 3 players kept up. That T-side economy ballooning, you have to say. They are looking set for the middle phase of this first half. This is Mir just getting a little bit done. Not the worst result in the world, but you have to say not the best either. And as the buy comes in, those 2 saved AKs really are going to prove critical. It allows for the extra utility to be picked up. It allows for a little bit of cash to be kept in the bank. Crad and Nickelback saving some well-earned pennies. Question is, can they get anything done with it? Because Entropiq, again, forced off this A-ramp early, and it's actually Crad, for now, playing solo over towards the A site. And he's playing very aggressive for a man who's out on a limb.
Technically on 2, since he needs 2 legs to stand. That's just... Davy is the only one to have actually taken damage in the early stages, though, and you've got a bit of a stalemate around this smoke. Mopo's obviously expecting the aggression up on the wooden panel from Forrester, but either wanting to be the first one to make a move, obviously. Follow up smoke down, and Forrester's just doing a good job at restricting control of the map for at least a while. The problem is they don't have the nades to keep this up, and they don't really have any info about where the full-on commitment is coming true. It does look like the focus definitely will be B. Dets is holding mid, so he'll probably try and go for the slightly late lurk out there, and get a little bit of pressure can be put towards the ramp, of course, by Davy G, who's just making sure they aren't going to be getting flanked, which is reasonable considering we're 7 rounds in. We've already seen Entropiq behind Movistar a few times.
Oh, that molly. That's going to flush Forrester. He's got to go over the top. He manages to get one. And that's a big kill to find as well. It pushes Alex into the crosshairs, but he continues to find damage on Mir. And now the bomb wants the A site. They've started to call. They think this is open and charging on in. David G very nearly makes it so. Crad on 12 HP. Lucky to be alive, you have to say. And as that bomb goes down, Elian is nowhere to be found. The site surely has to be given up for free here. Crad is trying to charge on in for all his work. Elian's flank needs to find a kill and fast, and as it doesn't, it's Entropiq who have to make the difficult decision. Once again, the save is called. They back away from the situation. This CT side, it's stuttering for Entropiq, to say the very least. Their Vertigo not looking anywhere near as proficient as their overpass did.
No. To be fair, they had a few hurdles as well. They hit on overpass, but it was usually when they already had a bit of a lead going, so that they were at the very least already in a comfortable enough position, so the pressure wasn't mounting quite as much. But obviously can't really say that right now. 5-3 already here on the T side for Movistar. They're looking good here in the early days, and reminder that was with things going pretty shaky initially, back and forth, of course, off the pistol. Great second kill by Alex. Bit mad on the spray control from Davey. I don't think he was expecting the second player. Didn't see him until he finished killing the first guy, and at that point I think it kind of just given up on the on the spray, was ready to stop. This is an Entropiq pause, as you could probably put together at this point. They do desperately need a bit of a discussion. Things have started going quite south for them.
Yeah, Nickelback having a very quiet start here. That kill again as they're charging up the lane. If he gets the kill in towards scaffolding, then it's a completely different picture. And this is a Nickelback who is leading the way, leading the charge on overpass.
There's showing good signs early, at least.
It's something, but again, it's just questioning, is it enough at the moment? It hasn't felt like there's enough players joining him up there to really get them going. I have to see if that picture can change, however, as once again, they will be able to just about scramble the buy together. Elian on that big green, wanting to find some impact. He struggled to do so far. Initial presence shown towards mid, but backs off as they want to take this A-ramp control again. Entropiq very keen to play aggressively, and for now, well, it's flushed the entirety of Movi into a B play.
Thought that was about to be a bit of molly damage, but not for now. They actually decided against this B play. You said they'd been flushed towards it, but molly came in, a bit of noise was made, and they decided, we've got a ton of time. There's no need really for us to make this commitment already. They know the guns are back in the hands of Entropiq as well. We're not really seeing much of a swap up from Entropiq in terms of the way they're playing things. Want to remain most times fairly aggressive on B. They're usually peeking ramp as well. The Movistar Riders tend to have a pretty good idea of what's going on, at least in the early stages, while they play out their default. And as you can see, just slowly start neutralizing those positions using the nades. Molly up close to flush Mirror out of position again. Went over on the ramp as well to flush the Opera that was holding his angle out of position. And with that now, they're looking to see if they can find players out in the open, and indeed, Dets has actually gotten himself 2 already. Fine with dying there as long as Sun Pius has the trade, and that's exactly what he's got delivered for them. They should have enough time to get this bomb down as well. Yeah, don't even need to cross it over, so Alex just puts it straight in place, and in a 3-on-2 now after plant. It's all Movistars to win, and I think Elian, if he doesn't get a kill instantly, might just consider the save. He needs Krad's flank to be huge.
It's a huge start. He does find one, but he's got 2 players facing his way, or has he? Sun Pius turns, and for a split second, There's an opportunity, there's half a chance, but now it's Elian alone v2. He's trying to bait the shot out of Sunpius. He's trying to get anything to help him out, but Sunpius is having none of it. Holds his angle like a statue, gets the shot off, a 6th round on the board. And again, it's a whiffy spray from Nickelback that really gets them into it. You hate to point out the individuals, but the damage was there. Mir had gone back in to find one. If he finds that kill, it's a man advantage as they're charging in the site. Instead, it's a man down and, well, Entropiq down in the dumpsters here as they're down to just the Deagles. Crad, of course, saving that rifle, a handful of MP9s to try and get something done, but already Nickelback is down and already one of those rifles is lost to the scaffolding. Crad will do what he can in the response. But 4v4 against this kind of a buy, the T-side will take it every day of the week.
For sure, and they're probably not even aware of the damage they've already done on the rifler as well, so definitely not feeling good for Entropiq, considering it's about to be 7 already for Movistar's T side, and let's be real, they have a chance to bring this well past double digits if they keep up the pace that they've got going right now. Entropiq, they weren't the ones who had to step up and recover from a poor half. We've seen Movistar, of course, show that they were capable of doing it back on overpass. It's going to have to be Entropiq now from this next gun round onwards that turn things around drastically. Forrester, okay, nice shot on the Deagle. Maybe a bit more. Dets is waiting for him there as well. Alex is on low health, so if he lands the clean headshot here, a 2-on-2 would be very winnable. And that's the bomb, okay. I don't think the weapon's going to be upgraded, but the MP9 will be enough to hold once they start pushing through. And as you can see, Dets eventually wins that fight versus Forrester. And Alex just catches Mir as the smoke pops. He unfortunately doesn't leave it long enough to try and recover the weapon.
Such a big kill to go through as well. As you said, 2 players low on HP. It feels like everything is going the way of Movistar at the moment. That round, very winnable. Instead, it's a 7th on the board. It's another round to tick off. It's the T side continuing to fire on all cylinders. And it's Entropiq looking a little bit lost. And, well, a rifle round that, as you alluded to, is very much a requirement at this point for the CT side. They've left themselves with nowhere to go here. Crad dinked up by Davigi early. Movistar Riders absolutely flying in this opening control, and you could just see the confidence they've got at the moment. Feeling out every angle, pushing back the defense, tagging up Crad to 10 HP, just forces that CT side to be a little more passive and allows for room like a faster pop. Mir, however, the hero of this entire map so far for Entropiq, has done it again. A big double kill to start things off, and for the first time in forever, it's a man advantage. Make it 2, make it 3, in fact, for the CT side, despite the damage done.
Oh, okay. Nickelback's flank gets shut down. Sunpius, I thought he was in trouble when he had to swing around the smoke, and if they both had rifles right now, then this is winnable, so Sunpius could do what maybe trading out to that M4. I don't think they're aware of quite how much damage they've actually done. This may be the best spot we've seen Entropiq in so far, but I don't think it's a certainty. If Elian can at least land on the 1 here, then they should be good. But the boost over the top, it's not going to be expected. Elian goes down. It was one of the low health players, but still, Forrester is going to have to get a lot done here. They may just have to concede the bomb plant, I think, as well. There's not much that they can do about it. It's going to have to be a very, very difficult retake.
Isolated fights. Mir, low HP, working his way up the ramp, needs an early kill and he'll get it. Crad finds the second inside of the site itself, and Entropiq, they find themselves a lifeline, albeit a slim one. A 4th round on the board. The buys will keep on coming for that T side, however. And it's not been without trial and tribulation. Mere 15 kills, just leagues ahead of anyone else on his team at the moment. The double kill here holds off the B site offensive. Elian finally able to get some impact out of that AWP as well, but it's going to need so much more where that came from. We've had isolated moments from Mir. He needs some teammates to step up, really, and stitch it together with him, because at the moment he just hasn't got that, and you can't ask Mir to clutch up like that every single time.
Yeah, I mean, 15 and 6 right now is pretty ridiculous when you've got 8 on your closest player being Crad. Nickelback's really struggling, as you said, and he was so crucial for them on that previous map, so a lot of things just aren't coming together as they need them to. Although I think Mir, if he keeps on performing like this, will probably be able to contribute a bit more on the T side, so let's hope he does keep it up and that they can grind out a couple more rounds at the very least here. as we get the aggression down ramp again. We've seen this backfire a couple times already, and the flash just isn't deep enough. Sunpius holds the angle so that the box actually blocks, of course, where that flash goes off. It's an easy shot that he's not going to miss any day. Nickelback also very aggressive, gets spotted around the edge of the smoke. It's easy pickings indeed for Sunpius. 5-on-3, Davy G already committing to the bomb site, and Elian doesn't expect it. He's being caught off guard. He's alive for now, but he's trapped in, he's tagged up, and well, if there's any nades, there is a molly indeed on Mopos. They should just be able to flush him out.
Multiple trapped players here. They know where Elian is, they know where Mir is. They don't even have to commit the bomb to this A site at this point, and they're starting to realise that now. Mopos has taken B. Forrester charging in, surely not to expect this kind of aggression. It's just a disaster for Entropiq. Forrester doing what he can, has managed to somehow find one, but, well, they're taking B, they're taking A, they're taking everything at once, and quite frankly, Entropiq are giving it to them. An 8th round is a guarantee for Movistar. If they can take away that AWP from Elian, that would be a fantastic result as well. And that round, well, I'm going to call it what it was, Dean. It was an implosion. That was just not on from Entropiq. Just starting to stabilize things on their CT side, just starting to build themselves something. Aggression down the ramp, as you said, with a flash that's too shallow. Nickelback then, words fail me.
Yeah.
For what he thinks he's going to achieve standing in the middle of the A ramp. He gets peeked from the left and the right. Like, what are you going to do? You're dead. As you said, it's a 1-for-1 position. It's just not viable. And from there, well, the chaos just continues. It's a guaranteed lead at the half for Movi. 4 players alive, economy blossoming. Starting to see why they picked this over Mirage now.
Yeah, I think I can understand it as well. I mean, we said the reason they might have avoided Mirage was because we thought maybe it's because of the individuality that all of these Entropiq players have, but right now it's the individual skill of Movistar riders that seems to be pulling them through here on this T side mostly. Great calls off the back of it and a few mistakes being made by Entropiq, sure, but Movistar riders are not missing out on any chance that is given to them. They're snatching it up and they're making sure that they can optimize these rounds, and yeah, so far it's been a real trouble for Entropiq. Of course, Nickelback not quite as far to the left this time, but he is again very aggressive on the ramp. A molly that'll stop him from falling back for a few moments, and see if he gets pushed down now. He could be in trouble. The smoke's going to start going. He only gets the one, as we said before. That's really an optimal situation. If you come away with more, it tends to come down to Movistar maybe being caught off guard by it, and that did not happen. Of course, the molly trying to flush out Krad. It does some damage. It confirms his position. They'll be able to just wait this out and try and punish him, of course, and a good nade makes that quite a bit easier.
35 HP. He's going to try and play around his own smoke used to extinguish the molly. Second smoke goes out to give him a little bit more breathing room. And Movi actually look for the disconnect here. Happy that they've bled out the majority of the util. Happy that they've chipped away at the life of Krad. They'll go for the reset. They've got the utility still to plan out and execute either way. Mir stuck on a scout this time, relegated to the second tier of weaponry. Goes for some aggression. He wants to grab himself something, but he's down to the P250. Still somehow finds a kill before he goes down in the trade, and he spotted the bomb as well. So the reinforcements will be called in. There will be presence on this A site. Elian, knowing he needs a pick here alongside a low HP Krad, is trying to play from on high. The flashes are good though, and it forces them into an ugly spot here. Holding 2 angles, managed to find at least one, but the trade is clean, and it's Forrester into the 1v2. Damage unconfirmed, but significant onto Alex. Can't quite deny that bomb, however, and now Sunpius is well set. 1v1. He knows where Forrester is, and Forrester has no info to work with whatsoever. He's hard clearing the corners, and that will be his undoing. A 9th round on this T side for the Movistar Riders. It's a stiffer resistance from Entropiq, but it's still just not quite enough.
Certainly not. Sunpius is racking up the kills again. Mopos is chilling. He's 1-13. Like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, lads. You have a 9-4 half here. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. If he starts getting kills, then Entropiq are in some real trouble, man. I've got to say. AVG going to be gifted another free kill through that ramp smoke. They may as well wait at this ramp smoke every round, just playing anti-flash.
I mean, half the time they don't even have to play anti-flash. The flashes are too shallow and they get a freebie. So you're right, just stick someone in the ramp. It's a kill in most rounds at the moment. Early man advantage. This one's a little more forgivable. But again, it's something for nothing, isn't it? They throw a man at it, nothing lands. They continue to do so. Mir has found himself a sneaky timing here, and if he had a fully automatic weapon, I'd back him to get some serious work done. However, it's just the Deagle, and he's actually made a couple of footsteps there that Sunpius may well have heard. Doesn't quite catch it, and that's an AWP now for Mir. He has been the one player, the one shining light so far for this lineup of Entropiq here on Vertigo, and he's looking to do the same again with that AWP in hand, trying to play around the smoke, but it's Alex straight through it, knows that AWP is going to be scoped on the extremities, and takes full advantage to find the kill that does surely secure this round. Nickelback again solo. He's had a torrid first half, and that continues. David makes it a double. In fact, makes it a triple in the round itself, and Forrester tagged up early. Nothing he can do. It's double digits for Movistar Riders. 10-4 on the T side of Vertigo, as they are just running over Entropiq at the moment.
Starting to look like we're definitely going to be seeing that Ancient, unless Entropiq just finds some other level of form that's been hidden away for this entire map so far. It just doesn't seem like the Vertigo's on point today. We said it was a possibility just looking at the results and how up and down they have been in general versus different levels of teams even. But they've lost some games that they definitely should have won, and they've won some games that they should have lost as well. Fortunately, right now, they're just not showing up. Forrester, though, he gets an opening kill. That's a little bit of a change from what we've been seeing before. It's Mopos who goes down, though. Let's be real, he hasn't really done very much in this game so far anyway, so they've still got most of the players who have been getting them these 10 rounds. That's not a slight on Mopos. He played great last map as well. He's just not being needed as much. Alex, Sunpius, everyone else has been fragging like an absolute monster. But his Nickelback, he lands the double spray down. We called him out a few rounds back saying he's been having a very slow game so far, and, well, better late than never in terms of stepping up. It looks like they should be there around unless Sunpius and Dets find a miracle, and well, they're giving us just a glimpse of it. How the hell has this come to a 1 versus 1 and he manages to win it? How do they come away with the 11-4 half? Dets and whoever the hell he was alive alongside, I forget at this point, Sunpius managed to come away with it and steal what could have been a small bit of hope for Entropiq. Instead, now they're going to have to sit around for a few minutes while we take a break and hope after the break that they can come back better than ever.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Movistar Riders showing us what they're all about. 11-4 as they head into the halftime and looking to make it 12 with this pistol is Sunpius immediately in with 2 kills over towards that B-bomb site as any hopes are derailed in an instant for Entropiq. Already 2 players down and in need of an absolute miracle to start this one off.
I don't know what a Hood thinks Deaths is planting, considering he's a CT-sided player.
Just trying to give Entropiq something to work with, mate. Give him a bomb plant,
Movistar
maybe,
Rider
but that's...
rebranded, actually. That's what it is. They can firm control of this round, though. Nickelback should at least be able to get himself the bomb plant right now. Indeed, that one's going to go off the Hood, thankfully, but his teammates all going off the Hood as well as Mopos finds himself that final kill. Welcome. Gets himself a second frag, and, well, will his deaths update after this round finishes out? I think they should do. He's probably hoping they don't. He can be like, yeah, fresh start. We'll pretend his new half, new game. Because despite his team's successes, he didn't really join in on the action, did he?
Not quite, but he didn't really need to, Dean.
No.
We're at 12-4. It's dominance from the Movistar Riders here on map 2, you have to say. Vertigo, clearly not a comfortable place for Entropiq to find themselves. And, well, they get the bomb plants. They will have a force into this round. 3 Galils, the Mac-10 and the Scout. Dreams of Ancient, perhaps the only thing that are keeping Entropiq afloat at the moment. In need of some inspiration. They need just something out of this second map. After such a hard-fought overpass, to go down in this fashion on Vertigo would send chills down their spine. And, well, David G is sending bullets to the brain instead. 2 quick kills. Crad low on HP after a scaffold spam. And, well, this starts to look very much like the pistol, Dean. Movi, 2 kills to the good. A double piece for David G. It's a tag out of the Scout of Elian at the very least, but there's not even that many players left to capitalise upon it. Movi just dominating the ramp at the moment, and Mopos even debating hanging around a little while longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary already with the advantage that they have. They've done good damage on top of the 2 kills that they've already put in their favour. It's all the pressure really on Entropiq right now, and obviously if this doesn't work, they're on an eco, then it's 14-4, and Entropiq will have to be flawless in their gun rounds going forward. They want to be looking at actually getting the win here, so yeah, I can see Ancient now, not so far in the distance. See whether Entropiq can maybe delay that a small bit. If they could warm up, that would be ideal. Because they have just struggled big time here on Vertigo, and I don't think it's necessarily just because of the map either. It seems like Movistar have just found a stride.
They've just not registered Entropiq. It really has been just one-way traffic so far. Forrester trying to do what he can to correct that, but he's losing teammates left, right, and centre. Tags up one in the smoke and will make it a double, but again, it feels like it's all in vain. A tag from Elian Scout will do no more than just tickle Sunpius a little bit as he takes a 13th round on board for the CT side. And again, this is just too easy. Nickelback, Mir a little too slow on the swing, or Nickelback goes too early. Call it how you like. It's a double kill that David G from that position should never be getting. It's 13 on the board. It's a half buy for Entropiq to save some face. But in all reality, as you said, we're on the 51st floor and out in the distance, slowly but surely getting closer. Ancient lies in wait to decide this series because Movistar Riders are not letting up here. Forrester gets his head and body chipped away at. He's the first to fall. And again, it's just intelligent play from Movi, knowing they don't need any more aggression. They'll fall back into their angles. Trust the firepower, trust the utility. Mir swings wide, but that'll be feeding Sunpius only more. And Nickelback, well, he's the next one to attempt the meat grinder.
Okay. Was hoping for the knife, I think, but he ran a bit too quick. This might have been overplayed at this point. I don't think he's going to be able to get as much as he wants to, and yeah, he just gets spotted by Alex, unfortunately. Basically needed to take that kill while he had it, then he would have had an M4, might have won another fight. Maybe there would have been some hope then off the back of that, but sadly that's not how it plays out. Elian's going to go down only having a Glock for his challenge up ramp. His chances of getting a kill were slim to none. As the score goes 14-4. It, as I said, now has to be flawless from Entropiq if they want any hope of pulling this back. And they do need to try and find at least a few rounds, make it a slightly closer map. Because I'm worried that Ancient could be very similar to this. Obviously, the changes make things a bit more unpredictable. I haven't actually got to cover it since. I've only had a little fly around in a server just having a look, obviously. I I actually haven't even got it in a matchmaking, even though I've tried to queue it quite a few times. It just hasn't popped once.
People don't like it.
Yeah.
Change is wrong. Movistar will be hoping that change is very wrong and they can continue their domination at the moment. Ooh. Nickelback though, ooh, threads the needle, will find one before the trade. Sumpire's there to help his teammate out, however. Resets that control in towards the ramp, which Entropiq are pretty wholly committed to at this point. Alex is there, lurking around the edges. Wants a flash to take a repeat. Elian now posted as well. There's the counter flashes. There's Elian, well placed on the AWP to find it. Doubles it as well. He's had a rough old game, but Elian now starting to come alive. Needed something out of the AWPer to keep his team in this round, and that's exactly what they've got. Deaths forced back by the utility. His teammate a long way from home on that flank. You can see what Deaths is trying to do, just distract by time, but realistically, this is a 5th round on the board for Entropiq. The save will be called by those remaining rifles, and Entropiq will get something out of this half. I was about to say that you could really summarize their Vertigo by clipping Crad, trying to wait for that kill and then getting domed in the side of the head as soon as he rounds the corner, but, well, they've managed to get a little more out of it at the very least.
And it's the start that I said that we wanted to see from them. The economy's okay, though, for Movistar, but if they manage to take this one more, I think they'll have cracked it down mostly, and it should be pretty much on the brink of destruction at that point. So, another round here, Entropiq then maybe start building off the back of that and get a round at a time. Who knows? Maybe they can make a crazy comeback happen. We've seen comebacks on this level. It's just been a little while for me.
Oh, it's been a long old while. This would be, well, it would be one for the history books, really, considering how out of it Entropiq have felt.
On Vertigo as well.
It's not a happy place to be.
What's going on there? You forgot a gun.
Oh, please let it be a HUD glitch. Please let it be a HUD glitch. He's got 2800.
There we go. He didn't.
He's bought
he had to go buy it, yeah.
He genuinely didn't have a gun there. There you go. There's another summary of how Vertigo has gone for Entropiq, but they've managed to get it together. They've got their rifles in hand at the very least. They will manage to equip themselves fully headed into round 20. Crad trying to isolate this fight in towards the lane. Has got Alex stuck between a nade and a Molotov, but for now, that CT side player happy to stick around. Dodging the flashes will be punished for it. Man advantage, make it 2. This is more like it from Entropiq. Mopos trying to do what he can to stabilize things. Gets good damage, but not the kill onto Nickelback. And that gives a 2-man advantage. Make it 3 to the T side, as this is more like it. This is what we saw on Overpass. The firepower starting to click. Deaths once again will be forced for the save. And as you said, Dean, round at a time. 8 more required to draw level. But they're starting to feel like they're finding their feet again.
Might be a bit too late considering they've just no room for mistakes to be made. But only time, of course, will tell. At the very least, they're going to build up towards 7. They'll have a little bit going their way. They'll have some momentum hopefully shifting back in their direction, and they'll show Movistar that they're not completely indestructible, because it was starting to feel like that with how this map had been going. It should be good to save. No one's trying to hunt them down anyway. Entropiq just want to save their own weapons over at this point. They want to ensure that there's going to be always some economy in the reserve in case they do end up losing that one round. Obviously they do not want to let it happen anytime soon though. Yeah, much better teamwork as well. Some solid flashes coming in as they were going for the peaks, and a slightly over-aggressive position from Mopos, but he was already forward with his teammate initially, or at least had been called to go forward as his teammate was pushing around the alley as well, and just didn't expect him to die so quickly, leaving him caught in the open pretty much. Oh, and Molly down. Not sure if they intended to do that. They've only got the one rifle to work with anyway. It's a bit of a gamble just leaving him alone on B. He's already made his presence known as well. Oh.
Double stack of the pistols. Very nearly. Nearly finds its purchase. Crad just about able to whip the rifle out in time and take the head off the first, however, and they fall back and reset. I think hoping maybe to draw the crosshairs somewhere that Deaths can get his hands on them. For now, the rifle a little way away, though, and with that man advantage, Entropiq again establishing themselves on the ramp. Nice dink from Sumpire's. The USP bringing Elian down to 41 as the cavalry have arrived, and it is going to be this A-site hit. into just a smidge of a stack for now for Entropiq. Mopoz, of course, only with these default pistols means that it's problematic to even get anything done despite the stack flashes actually blinding up their own teammates, but the kills come regardless. Davigi last up. Should be a lamb to the slaughter at this point. Maybe try and nab that M4A1, but you've got to imagine that realistically Nickelback is not going to let that happen.
Exit would be nice. But they're juggling weapons away, so I don't think he's even going to have a chance to get one of them. There's no need for them to send the player in that direction after ensuring that there be no weapons recoverable. So 5 standing. I mean, it's really nice to see how convincingly they're starting to win out some of these rounds, but it still feels like it's just way too late, unfortunately. If they'd done this in the first half, managed to grind out at least towards 6, then we'd be looking at a way more believable comeback right now. Or if they had at least found some success early on in this half.
That's the problem now. You're trying to convince yourselves to believe that this is possible as Movi take the pause, but it just feels so far away. One mistake, one missed opportunity, and it's match point. And then you're fighting for OT to have another go at Vertigo. But as you said, round at a time. The professional approach. Just keep chipping away, keep doing what you're doing. Feels like they are starting to feel their way back into this map in Entropiq, slowly but surely. And they'll be aware now that CT economy is on the ropes. If they get past this buy, it's a 2-for-1 deal now. The 2,900 loss bonus should be going up in multiples of 2 to try and push their way towards this first map, but it's Mopoz this time to try and take the fight to them, and he's charging down the ramp with that opening pick. Nobody else than Alien to support. And the AWP can't afford to swing wide. He knows if there's multiple bodies, he's done for. It's a missed opportunity for Nickelback, but Mir at least will trade. And now they know they've got to get a shift on. They know where Davigi is towards the back of this site. They've spotted the gun barrel. The timing will be everything, however, as Forrester creeps on in and a clean headshot opens up B. Sampayas the first of the rotations. Forrester has to hold this for time. Bomb still yet to be transferred as Elian wants to try and get a smoke down, buy himself a bit of breathing room, and that will secure this plant. Alex on the flank, but there's a flank of the flank in Mir, and the timings on this are going to turn this round one way or the other. If Mir gets a clean kill, it should be it. And Alex is looking completely the wrong way as Mir rounds his corner. Free frag. And with Mopoz deep in spawn, the save is called. It's an 8th on the board for Entropiq. They rescue themselves from this situation, but how many more can they bail themselves out of?
Well, hopefully for their own sake, all of them. They preferably not have to... They prefer to not have to bail themselves out of anything. That is the important thing right now. Mir's still finding form here on this T side. Importantly, you've had Nickelback pick it up a small bit. Forrester's playing quite well also. We are starting to see the pieces come together. Sunpius has slowed down massively. We haven't really seen his op have a chance to do anything here on this CT side so far. When you compare that to the T side of here, when you compare that to the entirety of Overpass as well, where he was just playing insane, it is a good sign for Entropiq that he slowed down for sure. Mopo's, I think, on 5 and 16 at this point, if his stats are correct. He was 1 and 13 at the halftime.
I'll let you do the math. I've learned hard not to play with numbers.
I'm trying to remember. It's less math, more trying to trust my brain.
Dangerous game. Crad. Even more dangerous game. Straight through the smoke. Gets taken out for free.
Whether they're T or CT, they just want to run through that smoke.
It just doesn't feel like the move at the moment. Mir has to back off the mid control to go support the B site. And Entropiq have to make a big decision here. This is the half buy from the CT side. Sampayas and Mopoz saving 2 rifles. Other than that, it's Deagles and 5.7s. They'll try and boost Mopoz up, see if he can get some vision down that A ramp. Nothing to be seen for the time being, though, as Entropiq slowing it down. They want this pick again, but instead it's Deaths. Drive by Deagle finds one, and that buys time. Support lines now being ran. Sampayas now in place. Mir just jumping across. It's duck hunting at the moment for the CT side. Nickelback finally opens the account of Entropiq, but is it too little too late? Mopos rotating in to deal with him, gets an awkward old spray, and the rifle of Nickelback continues to find damage, continues to buy a desperately needed lifeline. He gets a third. That's the AWP down, and now only the pistols remain in an even 2-on-2. Deaths has managed to salvage himself an AK from the corpses of the Fallen, but he's going to need a lot from here. His teammate with only a deagle to work with, tucked deep on that ramp, is held by Nickelback. 48 HP, he is a bullet from death, but Entropiq continuing to find damage. It's Nickelback who's put them on his back this time, and Alex is left alone. 1v2, that bomb already halfway ticked. No kit to play with. There has to be a rifle on this map for him to save, and that's all he's thinking about. The economy of Entropiq will buy them another lifeline. This one runs desperately close, but unlike Icarus, they don't fly too close to the sun. A 9th round on the board. 5 the difference. They're making it difficult for themselves, but they're getting it done, Entropiq.
Yeah, good turnaround from the 4-on-2. Alex at least carries over an AK. It'll give them a better shot here at trying to close it out here and now, but at this point, I think Movistar do begin to worry a small bit. Solid buy, nothing lacking, of course, for Entropiq, as you'd expect. Same to be said for Movistar with at least the 1 AK saved over, but they need to win this one. Otherwise, it's maybe 2 or 3 more gun rounds max that they have between them and Entropiq maybe having a shot at still stealing this map away, which would be crazy after the first half. Alex wants to take this fight, it seems. Entropiq, on the other hand, happy enough to just use some nades and bait out what they can.
That ramp fight has consistently been solid for Movistar, so you can't blame them for trying it again. And well, the B site has been consistently solid for Entropiq. You can't blame them for trying it again. Deaths once more trusted to be the solo anchor. He'll have a lot of work coming his way as Alex has won that fight down the ramp, has taken out the lurk of Crad. It's the man advantage. Once more the way of the CT side. A wide swing from Forrester, not able to find the kill. Mir taking a ton of damage to get his response, and it's Umpire swinging in, who surely has got this on lock for Movistar. A double as he picks Nickelback out of the sky, and Elian is left in a 1v4. Entropiq's luck has surely run out now. He's got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. They know exactly where to look. Umpires misses his shot, but it only buys a second of breathing room for Elian. He's mollied out of white. He wants another crack at it. Flicks for one. Dabaji his next issue, and he won't be able to clear it either. 15 on the board. 6 map points. Ancient. Tantalizingly close for the Movistar Riders.
And I think there's actually some players who don't have enough to really buy there on the side of Entropiq. I've seen one player high 2000s, I think, so this is not a good spot to be in. They'd won so many rounds in a row, and they still had a pretty unstable economy. Thankfully, they actually had enough to buy. Sorry, it was Crad indeed who didn't have enough, but he got the drop over, so they're all good in that regard. But still, so many rounds in a row just to be absolutely stomped out as they were there in that one. No real chance even to get into it, it seemed. And now they need 6 in a row just to force it to an overtime. Mopos lands the dink. He peeked through into about 4 players right there, so that was a little bit of a wild swing. Didn't have any backup either. No one else was aggressive at the time, and now it forces them to take a bit of a gamble, stacking 3 on this A-bomb site, which looks like it might be the right call considering they're still around this ramp. Movistar are going aggressive with it.
Well, retake the ramp, and through the smoke they found the first. Alex finds another, and they are charging in at the moment. Movistar, the rifles singing as they found a 2-on-4 from 4v5. Elian trying to settle things down, but he's lost his life in the process, and that is it. It will be Movistar Riders